All right, I'm gonna reprofile a chain really quick. So I'm gonna show it on video. I got a customer saw here that I fixed, and I'm gonna do some cutting with it. Check it out. So what we have is, I got this big stem off that big Norway maple that fell in the storm. Ripped off the fascia. I'm gonna buck it up, and also it ripped my my wood stove chimney off. I just got through one of the undamaged sections up top up there, and I got to repair that too. And I got to repair the fascia today, but I can't even walk ladders through here because all the shit's in the way. So I'm just gonna buck it up. So I'm gonna reprofile this chain. It sucks. It's typical of what I see when they come in. It is way too much fleam on the teeth. I'm going to explain a few things about cutting, and I'll go over those first. For those of you who sharpen a chain and say my chain's never as good as it was new, that's just ridiculous, and they don't come good new. But let's talk about a few things here. So I'm going to look from behind the camera here so you guys can see. Let me show you some of the damage. I started on this tooth here, and you can see there's still a nick. You can see exactly what it is. I'm almost back to a sharp corner there, but it's still nicked a little bit right there. On full chisel teeth like these are full chisel, not semi-chisel. You can see, I don't know if I can show it to you good from the side here, but they have a straight side plate and a straight top plate, and it makes a 90-degree angle up top, or something that's, something that's maybe just a little less than 90, because this side kind of angles in. But they come to a sharp point in the corner. All right, so this is, let's do this way. This is your working corner. And on a full chisel chain, unlike semi-chisel where this edge here is rounded, when you knock these corners off, this working corner, these chains will not dig and cut as well. Also, as you see, this one's actually in pretty good shape. Where am I? Oh, right here. This one's not in bad shape. The angle looks like it's pretty close. Probably like you never touched this tooth. This one will cut the way it is, but so what we're going to try and do is get them all to look like this. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to check raker height on it. Now I can just look under there. These rakers are way low, so he probably had dulled his chain. This is a logger too, guys. Now he uses this little saw for light work. Obviously he's got big saws too. This is a logger that I fixed this for. These rakers are leaning back the wrong way. They should be leaning the other way, and they're way low for this little saw. Probably because it was dull and he couldn't get it to cut good. So he just hacked the rakers down. These suck. So I'm not going to do a lot with them. I'll check them all. I'm going to lean some of them over real quick so we get some slope on them this way. But mostly I'm going to work on the top. So I figured since I'll make a video and show how little it takes. If you look at the hook angle, let me show this one right here. It doesn't look like he's actually ever done a lot with this chain, but this hook angle, this hook radius actually, this would be rake, the rake of the tooth, how much it's positive or negative rake, but this is positive rake, and he's got a decent little firewood cut and see here, so it's not too bad, it's not too aggressive. I'm gonna end up, now you can't see this one from the other side, but I'm gonna end up with a little bit more hook than him. I'm using 7/32 file. I use 7/32 on almost everything. There's no reason to go down to a microfile. All you'll end up doing is getting, if If you go down to 5/32 or below, what you'll end up doing is you'll end up getting a huge hook angle. The teeth won't stay sharp very long. 7/32 on these little chains. If it will fit in between the raker and the tooth, I use 7/32. I don't care what chain it is. It gives you a perfect durable hook angle or rake angle. So on a tooth, this edge right here, this is the fleam. Your amount that this forward edge right under my finger that I'm touching right here is ahead, is your rake. So if you drew a line up through the tooth like this, kind of perpendicular to the tooth, the amount that that is sticking forward of that line is how much positive rake it has. The more positive rake, the more aggressive it cuts. The more that that's straight up and down, the more durable it will be and the slower it will cut. You can see that little hook. That little hook, he used a small file on this one. I'm going to use a much bigger file on these. It's going to take the top off that tooth and make it a less of a C than you see right there. It'll be more durable for a little saw like this in the kind of work that he does. And then the distance between the top of these teeth and that raker right there, or drag or depth gauge, whatever you want to call it, the distance between the top line of those teeth and that is how much of a chip this will take. So the more you bring them down, the thicker a chip it'll take and the more it'll drag the saw down. You probably want to keep them on this saw. Since he uses it in a lot of different wood and it's a little dinky saw, I wouldn't take them down more than 25, 30 thousandths max. Just so it'll cut nice and smooth and it'll keep cutting. But he's got these way below that. I don't know if I can show you. Hopefully you'll see this. That tooth is way below 25, 30 thousandths. Way below. More like 60, 70, 80. That'll make this real grabby. This saw is way underpowered to deal with a chip that thick. And that's why you get into trouble. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set you up here for a minute. And I'll see if I can get you some better angles in a second after I deal with this tripod and start dealing with this chain. I'm going to kind of screw through some of my duller files. I'm getting quite a collection of dull files in this thing, or files that I don't think are like brand new. And I'm going to weed some of them out. This chain's pretty whooped. It's been around a while. For as big a teeth as they are, it's pretty stretched. I'm just going to tighten it down just a little bit so I can go at it a little more aggressively on some of the real damaged teeth. There's no reason for you to try to do them even. I'm going to set them all with a progressive raker gauge, which is going to set the raker drag depth gauge to the individual tooth. So looks like that. So there's no reason to try to get them even. We're going to repair the teeth, and if it doesn't need much, it won't get much. If it needs a lot, it's going to get a lot. This file's kind of skating across this tooth right now. There's a couple of sharp spots on it, and that's good right there. Just check it to the idiot line here, just by eye. So I'm going to show you that tooth. This is the damaged one. I'll show you this tooth real quick, and I'll get right to it, guys. I'm sorry. I just want to. So this tooth's all filed out now. The top edge is straight across square. There's a burr on the top now. This tooth is done. Let's see what the rake angle looks like. If there's too much hook on it, if you get too deep down in the gullet's down in here, If you get too deep down in the gullet, you'll make more of a C, and that top point will stick out further. And that's not a very durable edge. You'll wipe through it. You'll cut like a banshee, but you'll wipe through it pretty quick. So let's see what the C looks like on this one right here. So that's really good. That's a perfect C. That's exactly what you're looking for. I get a nice little burr on the top all the way across, so I get the whole cutting edge. That's what it should look like. That's what their idiot mark looks like, which is right there. That's with a 7/32 on this little chain, so that's pretty perfect. Gullet's gone. That tooth will cut great. Show you what it looks like from, if I can get this thing to focus and get the dirt off that I just got on it, but that's perfect all the way across the edge, all on the gullets, all sharp. That's a perfectly sharpened tooth. So we're gonna try and get them all to look like that. Will be gold. It doesn't take very much. The newer the file is, the faster it goes. I'll leave you like that while I do some filing and weed through a few files, and I'll maybe move you around from another view. But you don't need any guides or anything like that. You can look down on the top. I like to twist my file, so I use a lot of it. When you see people doing this with their file or doing this with their file, it's so that you're not just using one spot on the file the whole time. My eye, I'm just making it in line with the idiot line there. Show you the next one. That one's all done. I know I'm stopping a lot to show you, but don't want you to think I'm fucking lying to you. So this tooth is all perfectly sharpened. The corner's nice and prickly sharp. The file will create the same C. Now from this side you don't get a good look at the C because you're looking at it with parallax, because the angle's going away from you like that. But you can see they're both pretty much the same. Burr across the top, sharp, cleaned out. So that's all there is to it as far as getting them sharp. Doesn't take, if I had a brand new file, it would take a lot less swipes. I do have, I should say, I do have brand new files, so I have them with me here. I'll probably switch over, but I want to wipe through some of these bad files. The more important thing that I want to show is that there's no magic to this. People, the single biggest thing that I see in chainsaw sharpening, people don't know what they're doing. They don't understand what makes the tooth cut. Let's get you that one. And I'm going to explain something about cutting. This one's perfect. Prickly sharp. Right with the angle straight across on the top, sharp corner. For this tooth to cut, get this in frame here. This point right here, and across this cutting edge has to be the highest point on the tooth, and it will dig in and cut. If this edge is rolled over and then you run the file through it and there's a ramp going down because you hit rocks or something, let me see if I can find one. All right, you can see one kind of here. You get my, see how this tooth is rolled over. It's rolled down, he hit something with it. If you file out the gullet and the file across the cutting edge, but you leave that roll on the top so that the top of this is higher than that leading, that very, very, very leading edge. Okay, right here. A very, very sharp edge across the top, and actually I can see in my camera I got a little dull spot right there on the corner. I don't think that's burr. I think that's, yeah, there is a dull spot right there. You can see, so I gotta hit this a couple more swipes, but that leading edge has to be the highest point on the tooth. It's got to be the top for this to cut right. If there's a little ramp here, it will ride through the wood and it won't cut good. I'm gonna just put a couple more swipes on that one. Get that corner of that tooth. Let me give you another different view. Some people think these are boring videos, the sharpening videos, but they're the most important ones I think that you can do, because everybody in the world that doesn't do this for a living thinks that their chains cut better the day they get them, and they never cut good again. This angle's way wrong on this one. I'm bringing the angle over, so the angle on the tooth was like this. Bringing it over more like that. More along the idiot mark, which is like 25 degrees. And their chains don't cut, not because they can't pass a file through them. Anybody can pass a file through a tooth, but because they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand why and what makes them cut. And that's one thing I'm trying to explain to you. This can all be done by eye. Doesn't need guides. If this tooth is 25, this tooth is 28, and this tooth is 30, it's not going to make any difference in cross cutting at all. Since I'm going to go through the trouble of repairing this whooped ass chain, I'm just going to make them all nice and consistent. It's beautiful. This one's way over. So this tooth is sharpened at this angle here. Hopefully it's showing up on camera. It's sharpened like this. Probably, oh my God, 40 plus degrees. And it's going to come way over like that. And this is a pretty whooped file, but this is all it takes. So I'm going to work up in the corner here first to bring that back so I can get this angle more like this. And all I'm doing is eyeballing across that sight line. I'm locking the file so that I can wipe out what's underneath that's getting in my way. Doesn't matter if you do or don't. I think, what's his name, Billy Ray, fucking Billy Ray calls it the boat. And then I'm going to make swipes across the top plate just to line it up with the idiot mark. Perfect. This one's the lines like that, the tooth's like that again. It's again, because this guy, this person, who I won't name, you know, he just wipes a file through him and goes back to work. Doesn't understand really what he's doing. Now, does it really make a difference on the angle? Not really. What makes a difference is getting that corner sharp. So if he wants to sharpen them over there like that and wipe chains out every 20 minutes, that's fine. I prefer to cut for a while before I wipe the chain out. So when I'm removing material, I'm kind of boating with the file there. It's perfect. This one's pretty damaged. The corner's completely gone off this one right here. I've got a whole bunch of material right in front of my file right here. It's showing up. Yeah, kind of. I'm going to get you back turned a little more. Okay. So we got a whole bunch of material right here that's in the way. So I'm going to get that out first, kind of half mimic my angle, so I can actually go straight down like this, wipe some of that out of the way. That's why we're boating with the file like this, trying to get what's in the way out of the way. And then as the file works its way back towards the cutting edge, and I start creating a C again in here that fits this file, then I'm going straight across the cutting edge and creating my angle. And also I'm trying to find a good part of the file that's going to bite. I'm not lifting up on it. Right now I'm pulling back on it into the tooth. Like that. And that tooth's repaired. Corner's good. I'm going to spare you me taking you out to show you that. This one and this one. Yep. Want that out of the way. And you don't have to do all the boat and all that shit like I do. I've just done this a million times, so I'm really comfortable. You don't have to do all that. You can just go straight back if you want. It'll just take you a little longer. Just follow the angle like I'm doing right now. I'm actually using the back part of the file right here right now because it's still sharp. That one's perfect. Perfect. So I can see what's keeping me from, if you look at the C right here, I can see what part of the tooth is keeping the file from getting in there. And I'm taking that out first. Let's see if I can show you that from here. So I'm getting that out of the way. Now my file kind of fits in there. Now I can go to work on the cutting edge and on the C of the tooth. This file's really starting to skate. And there's a sharp part. The sharp part of the file now. Try to use the whole file. And sometimes if you have any little nicks on the top, you can put some up angle on the file like that and just hit that tip right there. I wish I could have shown you what that just did. That just hit the tip right in the working corner and file it up nice and sharp. I think I will... No, I'm just going to keep going. I'm not going to show them to you. These are perfect. And it kind of figures that they're all kind of ending up the same size too. So this one too. So this angle's way off on this too. So I'm pulling back into the saw to recreate the angle. So I'm following the idiot. Once I start to get close, I'm following the idiot mark. Should I show you those? I'm going to show them to you quick. So, these, I'll show you these four here that I just did. So, my finger in here. Alright, so, right angle. The light right, so that's the one I just did. It's the one just in front of it here. These were all pretty damaged too. You can see how they all kind of look the same, angle wise, corner sharp. That one's definitely hit some concrete or something. You can see the scratch on it, but the tooth's sharp. So even for all that motion you see that I'm doing, you can see how good the teeth come out. You look at my motion, you say, oh my God, how's he ever getting those teeth at any right angle or anything, because he's got all this boat and all this other crap. I'm being way not careful, but I'm taking more time in getting these teeth at the right angle right now than I normally would. Normally I'd swipe through these and just rock. And here's the next one. See what one looks like that wasn't hit. I'm going to do that one next. And we'll make it look like that one. and that one. So get you back there. I hope this helps some people, if anything, realize that this isn't that hard. I'll probably say that I probably make it look easier than it is because I've done it so much. So this tooth's at the wrong angle. Get shit out of the way. Now I get this file settling in. Now I'm following the angle. Kind of recheck my eyes. Still getting more shit out of the way because the edge is really damaged. Now the edge is back fixed and I'm just kind of following the angle. A nice sharp part of the file. That one's perfect now. Sometimes it takes that many swipes to do it, but if I was just getting back cutting, I'd be wailing on these and right back to work, but I'm trying to make them all look the same. And you can afford to take a lot off these teeth because he's got these friggin' rakers down so far. So I'm just adjusting my angle over so it's the same as the idiot mark. I'll come over just a teeny bit more. Perfect. As far as dragging your file back, if you can find a way to do it without, I think that's great. I try not to. I'm not putting any pressure on this file when I'm coming backwards. Got a nice sharp part of the file right now. Now, if I wasn't shooting a video, I'd be going through it faster, but that's one side of the chain. Probably move over here and see what your view's like. When I do the other side, I'm using the yellow. Well, I did mark a tooth here, so. I like to work from here if I can, in front of the saw. Sharp part of the file. I can really put good pressure on the file like this, and I can see straight down on the tooth. Let's see where you're looking there. I don't know if you're behind me. Let's get like maybe over here so you're not behind me. So yeah, so I pull them up, keep them right over the vise is usually the best spot. Eyeball the idiot mark. The idiot mark's in this direction here. The tooth is in this direction here, so I'm going to take the tooth back, wipe out some of the shit that I need to get at the cutting edge. Nick that tooth now. Perfect. Just one little spot on it that's dull. Not trying to lift up, I'm just trying to go straight back into the cutting edge. It's better. I'll show you the difference between this file and a new file. That file is still usable. Oh, is this a new one? Just the one I brought out? Let's try it and see. I'll be able to tell in a second. This is not a new file. It's not a wasted file though either. I can put so much more pressure on it this way, straight back in the tooth, that I don't have to, I'm not as fast though. I have to boat a lot with it, right on the angle. Man, he really hit something, because it's, that's a pretty good file. Let's try this one. This one's brand new. I wonder if this is steel chain. I think it's steel chain from the yellow tie strap. Yeah, this one's brand new. This one removes it. You're gonna hear a difference. It's done. Doesn't take very much with a new file, but I don't know anybody that can work with a new file all the time. Yeah. Oh, that tooth, this tooth was really damaged at one point. It's way smaller than everything else in this chain. Maybe just a tad bit more on the end there. New file takes out a lot of material quick. Almost done, just a couple more. This tooth's wicked, wicked hit. I'm trying to file the cutting edge back. So when you see me slip out, I am picking up on it just a little bit. Trying to pressure on the cutting edge. You don't need to. So this one I won't do that. I'm just going to go straight across. Just takes a few more swipes. It's perfect. One more tooth. I'll do this one just straight, normal, no boating, no nothing. New file just wipes it really quick. Okay. Now I'm going to check the raker depth. See what you're looking at here. Let's get you over this way a little bit. I'm going to check the raker depth on a couple of them. I know they're too deep, so not really a lot we can do with that. Should they be evened out? They probably should be, but I'm gonna have to wait till these teeth come down to do it. You can do them all from one side. I'm gonna go to the hardwood setting instead of softwood just to see where they are. I am hitting there. I'm touching on the hardwood setting, so just barely, but so I'm gonna go around this whole thing with the hardwood setting. Just barely touching him in the front side because they're taken down wrong. Not touching. So these are going to be way uneven. Way low, way low, way low, way low. It's under the gauge. This one's up. See, it's just angling it off a little bit. Hopefully you're seeing that. Way low. Looks like somebody did these on a grinder. They ground off and they're grounding it way low. So I'm taking these down as much as I ever would with a small saw like this. This one's underneath the gauge. This one's underneath the gauge. This one's sticking up. This one's under the gauge. So this chain's going to be pretty grabby. It's going to have half the teeth are going to be grabbing like hell and half of them are going to be right. Wow. Whoever did these has no business touching a chainsaw chain. Wow. So just real quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for anyone that I hit and I'm going to take 2 swipes on it. Well, how about 3? 3 or 4 on the front side to angle them off to try to get them down to the other ones. Only the ones that I hit. Boy, this chain's going to be so wonky, it's going to be crazy. All the ones that I hit are way high. And I'm angling the rakers off the right way. This will help a little bit. It's still not going to be right. I mean, what somebody did to this chain, they almost wrecked it. Eventually, when these teeth get back, it'll be okay. All right, that's it. Let's see what kind of time we got on this video. Whoa, 40 minutes. So, you see the tooth line now. Let's look down from the top. Everything's all nice and even. Good angles. You can see a hook angle here. It's nice. It's not super aggressive. It's about perfect for what this saw does. That's about perfect. You shouldn't want a whole lot more than that unless you're making race chains. No, I can't tell what's going on with that one. I got some junk in the tooth. That one there could use a little out of the... Yeah, it's probably because it's just too high.
Now proceed with your regular programming.
So, it's all good.
TV's working.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, your
Power's back?
Cable's back, internet's back.
Nice. Put you down for a second. I'll make a couple cuts with it. Show you what this will look like. This thing's gonna rip. So I know this video is long, so I'm just only gonna make a couple cuts, but this will be funny. It's gonna go through this maple so fast, it's like it's not gonna be there. Saws. Where to put you guys? I don't want to take it down there. I'm just going to knock some of these off. See if you can see from here. I'll just do this just so you can see it just fall through this wood. Get all our power back, which is good. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just cut some of that up real quick. What we're going to do is we're going to throw anything I cut log size, we're going to throw in the bucket. Anything that I left long, we're going to throw in that brush pile.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead. I gotta start this software update.
Yeah, so,
Huh?
nothing, I'm on video. Yeah, you see it just falls through the wood. you know, I don't even have to, if anything, it's trying to pull me downhill. But I'm gonna just whack the rest of the shit out, buck that up, take it out of here, dump it in the new log pile in the back there, keep it away from the old wood. And that's it. Yeah, so that's all there is to chain 101. You can see how good they all look. Hopefully some of you stayed to the end. And this will take a long time to upload, so I'll put a I'll try to put a notation in here where there's cutting, so that if somebody wants to skip ahead, and those are the people that won't be able to sharpen their chains. So any questions, hit me up, and I got to get to work. See ya. Have a good day.